Hi everybody in ECEC 111. Welcome to Toronto. Just because you've traveled this journey with me this semester, I'll let you know where things are at. I did arrive here safely, drove a task. Toronto is a ghost town. It is really scary empty and scary, not a lot of people around or cars driving, which is a good thing because then I can manage. Went to pick my mother up on Friday as was planned. Sadly, she didn't recognize me, didn't know who I was, thought the hospital staff were lying to her, was visibly and physically distraught and shaking, and so we have decided to leave her in the rehab care while I find an assisted living space for her to move to, which will mean cleaning out her apartment and getting her settled at an assisted living space now. Also involves a lot of legal paperwork and running around to the banks, doing as much as I can virtually from my Airbnb so that I'm not out in the world. So, my plans have changed slightly. In some ways, my life will be a little bit easier because now I don't need to worry about whether it's the right care and we have enough care for her. She will be somewhere that has care all the way around for her. She's going to be unhappy wherever she is at this point. So it's sad to see at 96 that this is how her life winds down. But she's not my mother anymore. She's a human being that I care for deeply and greatly, but she's not the parent or the person that I knew. So I can let that part go. We're moving on to spirituality and philosophy, and it's a topic that we breached on last semester, and we put it under cognitive abilities, and so we're still wrapping it around cognitive abilities this time. As we said last semester, it can flow in and out of emotional well-being in terms or cognitive well-being because we know that they're interconnected. Remember that these are challenging topics to think about, and it's all right to say, this is too heavy for me, too close to home for me, and I don't want to read this, and I don't want to talk about this, and that's really fine. But also know that you have a support person, that you have find that you have a support people. I can be your support, just at a bit of a time difference from you, but if you need me, I'm here for it. The big questions about who are you, why are you here, what matters in the universe, we all ask ourselves these questions, but teens and tweens are no different, and we've seen from the cognitive development and learning and memory that this is the stage that they're starting to ask those big questions. This is the formal operations where abstract thinking takes over. We no longer have to sense everything. Some of us like to, and some of us learn better that way as a learning style, but that's not our only way of getting information. The cognitive piece of manipulating it, we still like to do it. It's not our only way. Now we can actually use abstract thinking. We're thinking about thoughts like we're doing in this child development course. We can't touch the theories. We can point them out and see them in action, but we can't actually hold the theories. And so they're just thoughts, and we're debating thoughts. So this is the idea that we're looking at how that all fits together. So do take some time with Tiffany Poirier. She was quite big and on trend a few years back, but the whole idea of reflecting that kids can think about these big thoughts and that we need to respect them and engage them and encourage them to think about these big thoughts. So there's also looking at how adolescents identify spirituality and support spirituality with the support of adults. It's kind of a fun way to look at it and think about that children have that opportunity to think about it. And again, spirituality not in the view of religious spirituality, but in that where am I in the world? How do I fit into the world? What are the thoughts about it? And yes, maybe the questions about religion and religion connections. In terms of looking at we are the spirit part. Again, I go back to a lovely Buffy St. Marie song talking about circling. And so that we're all in the circle together. So we're all connected together. And so that in itself becomes a philosophical piece. We hear it in the music of the teenage as well. So we're asking this week for the learning discussion question to look at historic events from arts to political action can you share that reflect teens and tweens or young adults questioning and wondering and promoting aspects of spiritual development. Where have they changed the world of thinking? Where have they challenged the current thinking about things and sort of said, let's look at how we can think about a bigger thoughts and how we can think about a different world. So it'll be interesting to see what some of the posts are. I know some of you have gone ahead already, but let's take a look at how some teens around the world, because we can get very tied into our own small community thinking and start looking at around the world. We are all connected. So let's think about the ways that we can all come together and think about those bigger pieces, that we are the spirit part of the world and that we have that spirituality. We care about our other human beings. We care about the other people in the world. And what matters the most? Is it Greta Thunberg's work on the environment? Is that what matters the most in the universe and we get passionate about? again, these are ideas that teens can be able to discuss. The philosophy and ideas of big business versus economics versus saving the forests. How does that connect? The ideas of thinking about the social injustices in the world and how can we make a difference in those pieces. So taking a look at spirituality, what matters to them most? Why are we here? And what are we going to do to change the world in terms of teens? What are you seeing in the world? What are you hearing about in the world? Remember, we're starting to trickle down to the last few days of the course and the last few weeks of the course. So please, 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 please take the time to go through your choices and make sure you've made the right choices for you and get your assignments in. If you haven't posted on the discussion board or shown up at the Zoom sessions, either or, it's probably time to, if you want those 30 points, you're going to have to show up on the discussion board because we will not be having a gathering for the next 2 weeks. So there will be no gathering on March the 23rd and no gathering on March the 5th. We will have a gathering on April the 6th, and that will be our last class gathering on April the 6th. So that's the last time that we will all see each other on the same screen. So no gathering on the next week and no gathering the week after that. But I will see you on video and I will see you online. So thanks everybody. Reach out for me for anything that you need. My times are a little off. We're 3 hours ahead in Toronto, but I am reading and I am providing feedback and I am joining the discussion boards.